If you're over 60 and your vitamin D doesn't include K2, specifically MK7, you are paying for a half-built formula. The front label says bone health, but the back label says outdated. Today I'm going to show you exactly which bottles to retire, which bottles to replace them with, and how to fix your supplement shelf in one afternoon so your money is actually buying you something that works for a 60-plus body. Most of us over 60 were told the same line for years. Take your calcium. Take your vitamin D. It's good for your bones. So we did. We grabbed whatever was on sale at Costco, Walmart, or the pharmacy. We trusted the words bone health and vitamin D3 on the front. Nobody told us the second half of the story. Vitamin D3 is just the delivery driver. It picks up calcium. It does not decide where that calcium lands. That job belongs to vitamin K2, especially a form called MK7. D3 opens the door. K2 tells calcium, you're going to the spine, not the artery wall. Or, you're going to the hip, not into a kidney stone. Without K2, D3 pulls more calcium into your bloodstream and then leaves the traffic uncontrolled. At 25, you might get away with that. At 65, with slower kidneys and older arteries, that is not the strategy you want. So, our mission today is to separate the bottles built for sales from the bottles built for a 60-plus body's needs. Let's start with the bottles almost everyone has at home right now. You likely have nature-made vitamin D3 IU soft gels, that small yellow bottle so many people toss into their cart without thinking. Or nature-made vitamin D3, Spring Valley vitamin D3 at Walmart, or Kirkland Signature vitamin D3 from Costco. These are everywhere. They're cheap, they're familiar, and they are only half of the modern bone story. They give you D3, the delivery driver, and then stop there. They don't contain K2, no MK7, no mention of where calcium should go once it's in your blood. This is what you likely do every day. You line up your morning meds, blood pressure pill, maybe a statin, maybe something for sleep at night. You drop one tiny vitamin D3 soft gel into the mix, and you feel like you've checked the bone box for the day. It goes down easy. It doesn't upset your stomach. And months go by where you never once turn the bottle around to ask, is this the whole story? Or just step one? That's exactly how these products were designed to be used. Frictionless, unquestioned, and identical, whether you're 25 or 75. I'm not saying these are bad. If your doctor specifically put you on nature-made vitamin D3 for a specific medical plan, follow that until they say otherwise. What I am saying is, if you bought these bottles because you thought, this will protect my bones and my heart as I age, you've only hired the driver. You never hired the navigator. These bottles are the landline. The world has moved on to smartphones. And there's another problem. Most people don't take plain D3 correctly. Vitamin D is fat-soluble. It absorbs better with a meal that has some fat. Eggs, yogurt, nuts, olive oil, or avocado. Instead, a lot of seniors swallow their vitamin D3 1000 IU with black coffee on an empty stomach, then wonder why their levels barely move. So they take more pills, not better pills. The fix isn't panic, the fix is clarity. If you're on plain D3 like nature-made vitamin D3 2000 IU, step 1 is to use it the way it was intended, with food, with fat, and with actual lab monitoring. Step 2 at your next appointment is to hold up that yellow bottle and ask your doctor a direct question. Should I still be on plain D3 only? Or at my age, would a D3 plus K2 formula be smarter for my bones and arteries? This is how you bring your supplement shelf into 2026 instead of 1996. Now grab those big, heavy bone tablets. Caltrate 600 plus D3 bone strength in the white and purple box. Citracal Slow Release 1200 calcium plus D3. Kirkland Signature Calcium Citrate Magnesium and Zinc with vitamin D3. These have been pushed at women over 50 for decades. Big calcium number on the front, D3 printed underneath, and bone strength in huge letters. They load you up with calcium, add a little D3, and completely skip K2. The story you were told is simple. Your bones are thinning, you need more calcium. So you choke down a big Caltrate 600 plus D3 tablet every morning, and maybe a nature-made calcium 600 milligrams with vitamin D3 at night. You keep drinking milk, eat cheese, get your probiotics with yogurt. After a few weeks, your stomach feels heavier, stools get drier, you strain more. You chalk it up to getting older or your medications, never once thinking that the giant chalky tablet you're swallowing twice a day might be part of the problem. Meanwhile, the real question isn't, is there enough calcium in my body? It's, where is all this calcium going? Without vitamin K2, especially MK7, you've created a situation where you're pushing more and more calcium into the system without improving the instructions for where it lands. Bones don't automatically win that competition just because you want them to. If your doctor has you on Caltrate 600 plus D3 bone strength twice a day for your bone density, follow that first. But at your next visit, bring the box and ask, should I also be taking vitamin K2 with my D3? Or is there a better way to do this for my bones and arteries? That's not pushing back. That's doing your job as an informed patient. You might be surprised how many doctors are relieved when a patient finally asks that question. Modern bone science after 60 is not push more calcium in and hope. It's move calcium to the right places and keep it out of the wrong ones. That requires a team effort, D3 and K2, not calcium bricks plus a token sprinkle of vitamin D. For a lot of seniors, the smarter long-term move is to let more calcium come from food like yogurt, leafy greens, fortified plant milks, or canned salmon with bones, and let the pill focus shift to a D3 plus K2 combo that supports the entire calcium traffic system, not just the intake. Now think about the fancy bottles you've seen online. Ultra Strength Vitamin D3 10,000 IU, Liposomal Vitamin D3 5,000 IU. Sleek black or metallic labels, claims like superior absorption and breakthrough delivery system. These often show up on best vitamin D supplement lists, get pushed by influencers, and feel more impressive than the basic yellow or white bottles. But when you turn these labels around, in many cases it's still the same story. Vitamin D3 only. No vitamin MK7. Sometimes a long list of trendy supporting ingredients, but nothing that actually addresses where calcium goes once D3 does its job. The marketing upgraded. The structure did not. For a 60-plus body, that is a distraction. The bottleneck for seniors isn't usually, can I absorb D3 at all? It's once D3 pulls more calcium into my blood, does my body have the tools to put it into bone and keep it out of arteries? A better absorbed D3-only formula is still only solving the first half of the problem. It's turning up the volume on the delivery driver while the traffic lights are still broken. If you're using one of these bottles because your daughter, your neighbor, or some newsletter you follow recommended it, again, don't panic. Treat it just like the plain D3 category. Useful in very specific situations when your doctor is intentionally using it. Incomplete if you bought it to be your entire bone and heart plan. So if your cabinet is full of plain D3 calcium plus D combos and fancy D3 only hype, here's the good news. This is all fixable. You don't need more pills, you need better patterns. Now let's flip it. Let's talk about the vitamin bottles that actually match what your body is trying to do after 60. You now know the rule. A D3 plus K2 combo, and you want K2 clearly listed as MK7. That's the non-negotiable. So what does that look like on a real shelf? And why do these bottles deserve space in your cabinet? Pick up Doctor's Best Vitamin D 3 plus K2, the white and orange bottle. This one is built around simplicity and structure. The front doesn't just say vitamin D. It actually mentions bone and arterial support, which tells you they're thinking beyond just raising a lab number. When you flip it over, you see D3 and K2 as MK7 in the same capsule. One pill, two jobs. D3 helps you absorb calcium. K2 as MK7 helps guide where that calcium is used. It's a straightforward, science-aligned combo instead of a random multivitamin stack. Now hold a Now Mega D3 and MK7 bottle. Purple and white label, big D3, MK7, printed right beside it. This one wins on availability and consistency. You see it in health food stores, big supplement sites, and it sticks to the same core formula. D3 plus K2 as MK7 together, not buried behind a dozen other ingredients. For a senior who wants one pill once a day, from a brand they can find almost anywhere. Now, Mega D3 and MK7 is your workhorse option, clear combo, predictable supply. Then there's Bronson's Extra Strength Vitamin K2 MK7 Plus Vitamin D3. The differentiator here is dose clarity and K2 priority. They put K2 MK7 Plus D3 in the actual product name, which tells you they're leading with the calcium traffic side of the story, not treating K2 as an afterthought. It's built for people who already understand the importance of MK7 and want that spelled out, not hidden in fine print. The formula gives you meaningful D3 alongside a real MK7 dose your doctor can adjust around instead of just sprinkling a tiny amount of K and calling it a day. Some of you are the no shortcuts type. You already buy the better fish oil, you look for third-party testing seals, you actually read more than the front label. For you, there's a premium lane in vitamin D as well. Carlson's Super D3 plus K2 Soft Gelsol are built for that person. The differentiator here is ingredient pedigree and testing culture. On the front, Carlson leans into quality and potency. On the back, K2 isn't just vitamin K, it's spelled out as MK7 and tied to the branded form Mina Q7, which is the same name you see over and over in human bone and artery studies on K2. That tells you they didn't just grab the cheapest generic K2 powder, they chose a form that's actually been used in research and put their own testing standards on top of it. Nordic Naturals Vitamin D3 and K2 soft gels play a similar role, but with a different hook: brand trust and clean label expectations. If you already buy Nordic Naturals Ultimate Omega or their other omega-3 products because you believe they test for purity and heavy metals, their D3 plus K2 is essentially that same philosophy applied to vitamin D. You're getting D3 plus K2 together, with K2 again specified as MK7, from a company that has built its whole identity around not cutting corners. I'm not saying everyone needs this level, I'm saying if you're already the person who spends extra on the good fish oil because you care about purity and testing, these are the bottles that carry that same no shortcuts mindset into your vitamin D. Not everyone wants to chase specialty brands online. A lot of seniors want to fix this in the same aisle where they buy bread and milk. That's exactly what this tier is for. Best Naturals Vitamin D3 with K2, MK7, 5,000 IU per 100 micrograms is the value workhorse. White bottle, simple design, usually on Walmart or Amazon. The reason it matters is not the branding, it's the math. One soft gel gives you a solid 5,000 IU of D3 plus 100 micrograms of MK7. That's a meaningful D3 dose and a real MK7 amount in a single daily pill at a price most people can afford to keep taking every day. It's for the person who says, I want the right structure, but I'm not paying boutique prices for it. Then you have nature-made vitamin D3 plus K2 soft gels 5,000 IU per 100 micrograms. This is the no-friction upgrade for anyone already buying nature-made. Same yellow logo you're used to. Same shelf at Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, or Costco. The difference is on the back, where the old nature-made vitamin D3 1000 IU panel only listed vitamin D3. This newer combo panel shows vitamin D3 and, right underneath, vitamin K2 as MK7. That's the shift. You go from a one-ingredient 1990s formula to a two-ingredient 2026 formula without changing stores or learning a new brand. These bottles are built for availability and affordability. You can throw these bottles into an online grocery cart or grab from a pharmacy wall. You're not adding more pills to your routine. You're swapping a plain D3 pill for a D3 plus MK7 pill. that finally lines up with what your bones and arteries actually need at your age. Finally, let's talk about people who simply hate pills. If the real reason your vitamin bottle sits untouched is that you can't stand swallowing tablets or soft gels, you don't need more motivation. You need a format change. This is where products like Dr. Berg Vitamins or iThrive Essentials D3 and K2 with MCT oil come in. Small glass bottle, dropper on top. Each serving gives you D3 and K2 together in MCT oil. You simply put a measured number of drops on your tongue or in a little water, and you're done. The beauty of this format is that it quietly solves two problems at once. First, the pill problem. No more forcing down chalky calcium or large soft gels. Second, the food problem. Because the vitamin is already in oil, you're halfway to take with fat before you even start. If you take your drops with breakfast, toast with peanut butter, eggs, yogurt with nuts, or just a drizzle of olive oil on something, you've created a simple, repeatable routine that works with your body instead of against it. If pills are the problem, drops are your workaround. D3, K2 as MK7 in oil, take it with a meal, and you're done. Now let's pull this back to action. You don't need to memorize every brand I just showed you. Just follow these simple steps. Go to your cabinet, pull every bottle that says vitamin D, vitamin D3, bone health, or calcium plus D, and flip the label. If you don't see vitamin K2 and MK7 on the back, that bottle is running the old playbook, plain D3 calcium bricks or hype D3 with no upgrade. Those are the ones you either phase out or bring to your doctor and say, should I switch this to a D3 plus K2 instead? When you're ready to upgrade, keep it simple. One solid D3 plus K2 combo that clearly shows K2 as MK7, taken with a meal, and approved by your doctor or pharmacist. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and tell me in the comments which brand you're using. You don't control the sun or your genetics, but you do control which bottle you put back on the shelf tonight.